From the biggest race of the season to what I would argue might be the best race of the season, Echo Park Atlanta Motor Speedway this Sunday. I'm now joined by Ryan Stevens of wintherace.info. Tyler Reddick wins the Daytona 500. Ryan, it was an exciting pass for the win. Awesome celebration with Michael Jordan there in victory lane. Tyler Reddick's been up and down at Atlanta in his next-gen career. He has 3 finishes of 6th or better, but he also has 4 finishes outside the top 20. He's won Talladega. He's now won Daytona. Do you feel Reddick has a decent shot of completing the super speedway trifecta this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, he's been great at showing some patience in these type of races in the drafting races. I look a lot at 2023 through 2025 when I'm looking at the data, just kind of throwing out that first year of the Gen 7 car, had some body changes. So I look at the last, 6 races for these guys. And then I just filtered it by the guys who had run at least 3 of those 6 races. And Reddick has the 8th best average finish. And like you said, 3 great finishes, a couple top 5s. And for me, like if you're finding yourself in the top 5, anything can happen at the end here, as he just, proved last week. So yeah, I give him a chance to get it done here. I think be tough to go back to back Daytona and Atlanta, but man, he's shown it. Like you said, wins at Talladega and Daytona now. So yeah, I would not be that surprised if he was up there at the end of this race.
I'll edit this out if I'm wrong, but I still think Matt Kenseth is the last driver to win the first 2 races of the season back in 2009. So Tyler Reddick trying to do something that has not been done in quite some time. I want to talk about Hendrick Motorsports because they have won. I know you're mainly focused on the last 6, and I think that makes total sense. The track has changed a lot since 2022, but if we look at all 8 next-gen super speedway Atlanta races, Hendrick has won half of them, 4 for 8, including last summer when Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman were able to outduel the remaining RFK Fords that I thought would be tough to beat. Only one Hendrick car finished top 10 at Daytona last week, so how does Hendrick stack up this weekend at Atlanta in terms of pure speed?
Yeah, I mean, they've been good in the sample set that I'm using. The 4 HMS cars are top 8 in average running position, all 4 of them. The problem has been the finishes, like you said, outside of Chase Elliott. So we look at average finish in those races. You have Elliott 5th best, then you jump to Bowman 11th best. Then you got to go way down the list, 25th for Byron, 34th for Larson. So while they have been able to run up front quite a bit in these races, they just need to find a way to stay healthy and remain in there. It's wild that Byron and Larson, they're both top 5 in the percentage of laps they're running inside the top 10 here in that sample. Over 60% of their laps, they're running inside the top 10 and still just have the 25th and 34th best average finish. So a lot can happen here at Atlanta. But again, they're another team. I'm not surprised if they're, running top 10. They just got to make sure they're there at the end of the race.
Several big-name drivers found big trouble at Daytona. I know it's a little early to be looking at points, but like Ryan Blaney finished 27th, Denny Hamlin 31st, Cindric 34th, Bell 35th, Briscoe 36th, Alex Bowman 40th. We know the Penske cars. I look at Blaney and Cindric. They usually draft really well. Christopher Bell, I mentioned, he is the defending spring Atlanta race winner. And Alex Bowman, I mentioned, helped push Chase Elliott to the win here last summer. So of those drivers I just mentioned, who is most likely to bounce back in a big way on Sunday?
Yeah, I picked Christopher Bell for my JGR pick last night in the draft, so I do like him this week. But I'll take the low-hanging fruit here, go with Ryan Blaney. The last 3 years, he's run over 40% of his laps inside the top 3, over 50% of his laps inside the top 5 here. 5 top 10s in those 6 races, been insanely close, about as close as you can get and not win a race, out there at the end there. But when we simulate this race 100,000 times, we do have Blaney as the highest win percentage on Win the Race. So I do have to trust our numbers there and go with Blaney.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm maybe it's early. I'm a little slightly concerned with Team Penske after what I saw at Daytona. Like they seem just like a little off. I mean, I know Logano and Blaney finished 1-2 in their dual race last Thursday. I get that. But in the 500 itself, they only led like 16 laps combined as a team. Last year, they led 125 in that race. So maybe it's just the fuel strategy, fluky crashes at the wrong place, wrong time. I don't know. Like, does that make you a little apprehensive picking Ryan Blaney or zeroing in on Penske? Or do you feel like Atlanta is so much more different than Daytona that it's hard really to compare?
I'm not too worried. At Atlanta, it's been all Penske all the time. They're actually number one, two, and three in average running position over the last 3 years,
Dang.
leading everyone in how often they're all running inside the top 10, 5, and 3. So they are just always up front. It's been absolute dominance. Logano's the only one who's gotten into victory lane twice in that time, but I do think that could change this year. I would not be surprised at all if Blaney or Cindric are there at the end. Yeah, I think I'm not worried about Penske at all at Atlanta.
All right, I'll buy that. I'll buy that at least for now. We'll see what happens. Carson Hocevar, I want to talk about him. Came up oh so close to winning this race 1 year ago. He was also oh so close to winning the Daytona 500. He and his teammate Michael McDowell linked up late, pushed each other to the race lead. Carson Hocevar is getting a lot of seat time to start this year. He ran triple duty at Daytona. He'll run double duty at Atlanta, racing the truck as well. What do you like about Carson Hocevar potentially at Atlanta?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Tyler Reddick earlier, just kind of like finding his way there by the end of the race. And Reddick having the eighth best average finish over the last 3 years. Hocevar, sixth best average finish over his last 2 years. And Hocevar is the 10th best in my true performance scores and win the race among active drivers in that time frame. And I still think he can win this year. We saw it at the end of Daytona there, like you said. He can just kind of find his way through the field. He's had a couple different types of Atlanta races, one where he's up front all day, one where he finds his way there at the end. It's just like, I'm not really worried about his skill here. If handling comes into play, I think he's aggressive enough to make something happen. So I like Hocevar. I pick him on the draft too. I did last night. I joked about it last night. I'm going to pick him every week until, either I die or he wins a race. It's just whatever happens first, I'm going to keep doing it. And I've done it on this show too. He's always been kind of my long shot pick. So I love Hocevar. I think his aggressive style and the way that he can get from back to front will really help him here.
Yeah, we have seen him. I think last year's race, remember, last year, the summer race, I should say, was marred by that huge crash early that took out probably a dozen contenders, damaged others. Hocevar was in that wreck, got some right front damage, and yet I remember looking up late and he was still in the top 10, slicing and dicing, even with some damage. Like that, he's just relentless at this style of racetrack. I guess we'll wrap up with this, Ryan. Best of the rest. Who's someone we haven't talked about yet that maybe folks are sleeping on a bit? I will nominate this week. I will nominate one Zane Smith. Last I checked, he has worse odds to win than his teammate Todd Gilliland, which makes no sense to me because I think Zane Smith is clearly the superior, maybe all-around driver at this point. I mean, just at Daytona, Zane won a stage. Granted, it was on fuel mileage, but then he finished sixth in the final race. And at Atlanta last year, he finished 7th and 11th, looked bad fast last summer under the lights in that Aaron's Dream machine. I like Zane Smith as a sneaky top 10 pick. What say you? Who do you have?
Yeah, Zane Smith was a sweep last night in the draft. All four guys took Zane for the FRM pick, so you're on the right track there. I'll give you two guys.
Okay.
A couple Chevys. And how about last week's pole sitter, Kyle Busch? He'll also be running double duty this weekend and he's been amazing in back-to-back truck victories here. In the Cup Series, he has the best average finish here over the last 3 years. Oh. He's one of only 3 guys with an average finish in the single digits. Zane Smith is next, who you just mentioned, in a 2-race sample. And then followed by another guy with a 6-race sample like Kyle Busch, Daytona 500 runner-up, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I mean, these two Chevys always find a way to be around the top of the order at the end of these races. Kyle Busch has only finished outside the top 10 here once with RCR. He's been awesome. And Ricky has 4 career wins, all in drafting tracks, Daytona and Talladega. So, I mean, this is his wheelhouse. And he's been up there at the end of these Atlanta races as well, finishing well. So I think Kyle Busch and Ricky Stenhouse are two fairly decent sleepers here. Kyle Busch kind of in the middle of the pack, and then Ricky Stenhouse is like a deeper sleeper.
And I'd be remiss if we don't at least mention my second nominee, if you will, won this race 2 years ago. I'll throw Daniel Suarez out there. I should have mentioned him when I was talking about Hocevar and McDowell with Spire. Like, I don't know. Daniel Suarez, I wouldn't rule him out for a sneaky top 10 as well. He's had some really good runs at Atlanta with this new configuration. Ryan Stevens, thank you for joining us today. As always, great to catch up, great to chat data, preview the upcoming race. Fans, on Wednesday nights on YouTube, you can watch The Draft, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on the Win the Race YouTube channel. Ryan alluded to it. He and his buddies Tino and Phil pick drivers from every single team, set their lineups for the upcoming week. It's a good watch. It's an awesome way to really dive deep into the upcoming race weekend. You can also find more of Ryan's work at wintherace.info. All those links are down in the description below. Ryan, it's great to catch up as always. Enjoy Atlanta, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Atlanta is always a fun race, so everyone have fun this weekend. We'll see you next week.